Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you something pretty amazing, how to grow your own blueberry plants from seeds taken straight from store-bought fruit. I've been watching other gardeners try this method and I'm excited to test it out myself and see just how many free blueberry seedlings we can get. In this video, I'll walk you through the entire process, cold stratification, what I think is the easiest method for extracting tons of seeds, and finally, getting them planted and germinating. I've got 3 different lots of blueberries here. The first ones are store-bought frozen blueberries, which say packed in chili on the bag. The next ones are also store-bought blueberries, but they're grown in New Zealand. And the third lot here are ones I picked up from a local farmer's market. So I'll throw these ones in the bag into a little container and get all 3 lots in the freezer. Now, before we can plant these seeds, they need to go through cold stratification, and trust me, this step is absolutely crucial for blueberries. In nature, blueberries would fall to the ground in autumn, then sit through the cold winter months before sprouting in spring. This cold period actually breaks down chemicals in the seed coat that prevent germination. It's like nature's way of making sure the seeds don't try to grow at the wrong time of year. Without cold treatment, most of your blueberry seeds simply won't germinate, no matter how perfect your growing conditions are. The good news is, we can easily simulate winter with a few weeks in our refrigerator. Think of it as tricking the seeds into thinking they've survived winter and it's time to wake up and grow. Now for extracting the seeds. I've found the blender technique gives me the best results with the least hassle. First, I'm going to toss my blueberries into the blender with some water and give them a quick pulse. We're not making a smoothie here, just a few short bursts to break up the fruit and release those seeds. I'm going to pour this mixture into a bowl and let it sit for a minute. The seeds are heavier than the pulp and skin, so they'll naturally sink to the bottom, while all the lighter material floats on top. Now I'll carefully pour off the water and floating bits into another bowl, leaving just the seeds to settle at the bottom. And look at that, dozens of tiny seeds ready to go. The last step is crucial. I'm spreading these seeds onto a paper towel to dry for a few hours. This prevents them from clumping together when we plant them later. Nobody wants to deal with a sticky mess of seeds that won't separate. Once they're nice and dry, we'll have perfectly clean individual seeds ready to plant. Now, I've actually kept the seeds from the 3 different types of blueberries separate here because I want to see how each variety performs. You can see I've got them labelled so I don't get them confused later on. Here's something important to know about blueberries. They don't grow true to seed. What that means is the plants I grow from these seeds won't be exactly the same as the parent plant I took them from. Instead, they'll likely end up with a mixture of different characteristics and possibly even new varieties entirely. It's pretty exciting, like a generic lottery. Now, while I'm curious to see what all of these turn out like, the seeds I'm most excited about are these ones from the farmer's market. I know these berries were grown on a local berry farm right here in our area, which means the parent plants are already proven to thrive in this specific climate. These are the seedlings I'll be keeping for our main blueberry patch because they've got the best chance of being well suited to our growing conditions. The others will be fun experiments, but the farmer's market seeds are the best bet for reliable, productive plants. Now, since it's the start of winter here, if I put these seeds straight outside now, they're simply not going to germinate in the cold. So instead, I'm going to plant them into these seed incubator trays to get them started indoors before spring arrives. This way I can control the temperature and give them the perfect conditions to germinate. Once they've sprouted and developed into strong seedlings and the weather starts to warm up, I'll be able to transplant them outside with a real head start on the growing season. To fill the trays, I'm using a mixture of seed raising mix and well draining compost. I should mention this mix has been sitting outside in the weather, so it's already fairly moist, which is perfect for what we need. Once the trays are filled, I'm just using my index and middle finger to gently firm down each cell, making sure they're all level. You don't want to pack it down too hard, just enough to eliminate air pockets and create a nice even surface for the seeds. It's been a few hours now and the seeds are nice and dry, so it's time to get them planted into the trays we prepared earlier. First, I'm adding labels to each tray so I can keep track of which variety is which. For planting, I'm just pinching up as many seeds as I can manage and sprinkling them across each cell. Now, I have no idea the actual germination rate will be on these, so I didn't bother counting exactly how many went into each cell. I just made sure I put plenty in there. You can see I had loads of seeds left over for both the farmers market berries and the New Zealand supermarket ones. So I'm popping these into labeled Ziploc bags. That way, if I want to try planting more later, or if this first batch doesn't work out as well as I'd hoped, I've got some backup seeds ready to go. Now all that's left to do is add a thin layer of compost over the top of our seeds. I'm making sure to sift out any large chunks from this top layer. We want it nice and fine so the tiny seedlings can push through easily when they germinate. Alright, I've moved the trays inside to our laundry room where they'll be incubating. As I mentioned earlier, the soil is already pretty moist, but it's really important to keep the seeds consistently moist to ensure they germinate properly. So I'm just using a spray bottle with some rainwater to give the surface a light misting. Now it's time to put the lids on and plug in the grow lights. Since it's winter and temperatures can get pretty chilly, I'll probably add a heat mat underneath these trays as well to help with germination. That extra warmth from below can make a real difference in getting the seeds to wake up and start growing. Anyway, that's it for this one on growing blueberries from seed. It's going to be a bit of a waiting game, but if everything goes to plan, we should have plenty of free blueberry seedlings come springtime. I'll definitely be doing a follow-up video to show you how they're progressing, so make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. And if you decide to give this method a try yourself, I'd love to hear how it goes. Drop a comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.